What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Elden Ring walkthrough. Hope you guys are having a great time with this game. In this episode, we're going to continue forward, going kind of westward on the plateau, rather, in the Weeping Peninsula. First stop is up here in this village, kind of straight ahead from where we're at. There's some goodies in there. We're going to check it out. This might be our first encounter with a status effect in this game known as Madness. What happens if Madness builds up too high? You'll take a very large chunk of damage. It's similar to Frenzy in Bloodborne, to those of you who have played Bloodborne. All right, just a couple of so you see those glowing eyes that those rats had? That means that they're essentially infected with madness, and if they hit you, they're going to cause madness buildup. Just kind of picking up some of the crafting materials on the way. That's a new material, the Eye of Yellow. Don't know how to say that, but all right. So now we have some more human-like enemies as well that have the madness. These guys are relatively non-aggressive. In that they really don't attack at all unless you provoke them. Weathered straight sword. I mean, that's a random drop. That's not a guarantee. All right, so in here we have the Flame Crest wooden shield. That's really the only thing kind of around these houses that you have to worry about. But we can circle around here. And there's some Arteria leaves. Make sure you pick those up. Or Arteria leaves. Whatever. However you pronounce that. I think it's Arteria leaf. You see that I'm getting that madness build up now. If that meter gets all the way full, I'm going to take probably like 60 to 70% of whatever my health bar is. Like probably 60 to 70% of my maximum health. Man, okay, these guys are causing me problems here. I'm going to regroup. It's that the big rat that's giving me the most problem. I'm trying to hit her babies, and she's not having it at all. Which, you know, understandable. Flame of Frenzy, that's actually a really good incantation. Great for crowd control. If you have the stats to use it. All right, I'm gonna Bloodhound finesse. Enough is enough. Seriously. All right, got another Sacred Tear, which is primarily what we came here for. Good riddance. Hoi. But yeah, Flame of Frenzy is a great incantation. It's great for attacking multiple enemies at the same time. But, you know, you have to have the stats to use it, of course. Let's see here. So that's all we can do, really, around here. There's actually a Site of Grace up on the northern side that we're going to pick up. I mean, it doesn't really help us that much unless, for whatever reason, you wanted to warp back here. Because this place is somewhat inaccessible. There's really only one way to get here unless you warp. So we'll unlock this. And this will also give us a chance to use our Sacred Tear as well. So level up our flask. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head kind of back down. Well, can we just jump over? I was going to head around this cliffside, which you can do, but I think you can just jump down here because what we want to do is we want to go across this bridge. I think there's a way down over here as well. Yeah, that's the bridge we want to go across. If you drop down from too high, though, you'll take too much fall damage and just die. Yeah, I think you can make it over here too. Yeah, here we go. You don't have to go the long way around. I'm just going to drop down right here. This should be survivable. Yep. There's going to be an enemy, like a demi-human enemy right here that we're going to dispose of. Real quick, like. Ah. Yep, he didn't drop anything. He can drop a dagger. But he did not. Let's go across this bridge. And then we're going to turn north, kind of heading this way. This is another church. Let's pick up some crafting stuff. And this is the area we've already visited down the cliff there. That's where there was that village where there's the giant demi-human mini-boss was down there. I believe we also picked up a shield. It's like the cursed spike shield or something like that. It's that shield that has the spikes on it that does bleed damage. Pick that up down there. So we've already been down there. All right, here is our church. It's a little ghost out front. Mausoleum prowls, cradling the soulless demigod. Oh, America, Queen Eternal, he is your unwanted child. So the Mausoleum, we're going to see him in just a little bit. All right, get the grace. And we actually get another sacred tier here. So that is going to be yet another upgrade to our flask. So we're going to take our flask from +1 a minute ago. Now we're going to be all the way up to +3. So pretty nifty indeed. So what we're going to do now is there's a couple items out here. So you should be by these tombstones. There we go. Don't want this guy to cause problems. And then, of course, the other ones are spawning out of the ground. So got some blood grease. And there should be a shield out here, too. Here we go. Gilded iron shield. And then there's actually some other stuff that you can get if you drop off the edge of the cliffs. Let's see here. There's a spot where you can kind of like traverse down. No. It's over. Yeah, it's over here. Get back on my horse. Kind of just follow these cliffs. Some of these falls look like they're far, but you can make them. It's the bird I just killed. All right. Bunch of bats around here. Ah. Yeah, fighting enemies in the air does not feel all that intuitive. I mean, you can do it. It just feels kind of janky. It's the one part of combat in this game that just doesn't feel quite natural. But first, we got a sliver of meat down here and bewitching branches. So these can be used. Pierce a foe using FP to turn them into a temporary ally. So you can turn a foe into an ally with these things. So you can use them strategically, especially if you're outnumbered. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head south around this area. There's going to be a catacombs we're going to hit up. And I'm going to show you guys something in this Catacombs. Because I mentioned that, you know, Bloodhoundsfang is going to be my main weapon for the time being. Here we go. Right here is Catacombs. But situationally, I'm still going to use the Uji Katana. So open up these doors. Because as I've mentioned, you cannot equip an Ash of War to the Bloodhoundsfang. There are certain weapons, primarily the ones that are upgraded by the Somber Smithing Stones, where you cannot equip an Ash of War. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip my Katana, because you can equip a Ash of War to the Uji Katana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip to my Katana the let's see, Sacred Blade is what I want, right? And then you can make it Sacred Scaling. I'm going to do that because this Catacombs has a bunch of skeleton-based enemies. And what happens is this Sacred Blade, when you trigger it, it throws out like a massive, like holy-based damage projectile, and then it enchants your weapon with holy damage. Of course, it consumes FP, so I'm going to rest just to get my FP back. But what happens is you can, when you enchant your blade, you can basically kill the skeletons in one hit. And it also works very well against the boss in this area. So we're going to use a Stone Sword key here, and I'll just demonstrate it real quick. So look at that. The projectile killed that one, but then I just one swipe killed that other one. So you got the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 9. And the thing about the holy damage is it keeps the skeletons from respawning. So you know how like normally they would have the white wispy that you'd have to hit again to keep them from respawning. Well, if you kill them with the enchanted holy sword, or any weapon that's enchanted with holy, then you will keep them from respawning. So there is our boss door. And so really what I typically do is I'll use normal attacks on an ordinary basis. And if I get swarmed by probably 3 or more of these skeletons, I'm going to switch and enchant to holy. Of course, there's some grave glove work down here. Tier 1 and 2. There's our switch, but we can't get to it quite yet. So here I'm going to enchant my blade because there's a bunch of the skeletons, and we'll just make our lives way easier. This one there's an archer, another archer. See, I'm just one-shotting them all, and they don't respawn now. See if I can get this one before my blade goes away. There we go. So very helpful. Here we have another one of these fire-breathing things. You can hit them with any ranged weapon, bow and arrow included, and it moves it down. There's going to be a skeleton that spawns here. Yeah. Keep it from spawning behind us. So in here, there's some stuff we can grab. And this is kind of an ambush, so I'm gonna enchant. Doesn't matter that that blade missed. So there's 4 of them in here. Golly, that combo, dude. So I'd be in trouble if I wasn't one-shotting these things right now, but you can see how enchanting the blade helps tremendously in a pinch. Now I'm only got one of them fighting me, so doesn't matter that my blade's not enchanted, but when there were 4 of them, it made a big difference. This is another one of those items that like it says, you know, a phrase when you use it. So yeah, there's the guy with the fire bombs. So if you go right up next to this thing and you jump, the jumping right next to it when you're physically right next. Damn, dadgum, dude, chill with the freaking fire bombs. Good grief. So jumping right next to it counts as like a hit. Basically, there's a hit box when you jump that's like right next to your body. So when you jump like right next to it, as I was trying to demonstrate, I was getting pelted with fire bombs. It'll cause it to raise up. And this is one of those puzzles, of course, where you have to ride it up to the next level to get to kind of a secret area. But the switch is up here, so you have to take it up to get through. So I'm going to spawn behind me. All right, got some arrows up in here. So here is our switch. Gonna go on and pull that. So now we can get to the boss. I'm going to rest at the site of grace just to replenish everything before fighting the boss. And we are going to use... Nope. We are going to use our holy damage buff as well on the boss. And it's going to shred. It's just going to shred this boss. It's going to be great. Alrighty, all rested up. That was the stone sword key door that we unlocked earlier. So before going in, I'm going to chug my physic flask to give me the stamina and damage boost that I have equipped. So right when I walk in, I'm going to enchant my sword. You see it's this kind of sleeve figure that we're up against. So the projectile alone, look at this. Oh crap, I mean he does blood loss damage too, so don't completely ignore him like I did just there. But still be strategic about the fight. I thought I was just gonna go in and wail on him and win real quick, but anyway, he's still dangerous. Still gotta respect him. But another jump attack here, even though my weapon isn't buffed anymore, should get him. Or I can just get him with the projectile. I'm going to get him with the projectile. Why not? Play it safe. And you see how much that holy damage did. So this is significant. Okay? So you need to go to this place if you want the Platinum Trophy, because that Spirit Ash that we just got, let us check it out. So this is Lutel the Headless. So this is a legendary Ashen remain. This is actually one of the best in the game. So this is there is a trophy for getting all of the legendary Ashen remains in the game. So you have to get this to get that trophy. So if you're after the Platinum Trophy or, you know, the all achievements in this game, you have to get this Spirit Ash because it counts towards the legendary Spirit Ash trophy or achievement. So you notice, though, I'm not going to be able to switch to it right away because it requires 104 FP to cast, and I only have 71 FP. So I don't even have enough FP to summon this yet. There is going to be a flask buff that we can get later that negates all FP cost whenever you equip it, and it's for a short period of time, but during that time where the buff is active, it negates all FP cost. And so I'm going to be using that. And then that'll allow us to summon things that maybe cost more than what our FP would allow for. I think it's nighttime outside, so I'm going to advance the time of day here. So definitely a great summon. And of course, as I said, needed for that achievement. Let's see, past time till morning. And then level up here. Get my faith. So what happened last episode? I thought I was upgrading my faith, but I have to use that crest that I have, or the seal that I have. But unfortunately, I accidentally upgraded my intelligence. So I wasted a level in intelligence, but it's all good. Now that I have 10 faith, I should be able to use the seal that I have equipped. And just to show you what it does, is it allows you to use incantation. So I can use the urgent heal now. So it effectively counts as extra healing that I have access to now. And so I might use that from time to time in a pinch. Okie dokie. So where we're headed to next is down here. There's a spot where you can drop down to get a shield. There's a mini boss up here too that I might fight before we do that. We'll see. And I need to put my regular weapon back on before I forget. No, it's not. It's not equipped. I think I put it on and then took it off by accident. Okay, first we'll fight the mini boss. So up here, this is the first of many. Oh, my bow is still equipped. Dang it. Erdtree Avatar. So like the dragons, you can fight these on horseback or off. And like the dragons, I also prefer to fight these off horseback. So if you're fighting them on horseback, you want to be wary of these combos. And then when the combos are done, you can swing in and get a hit. If he hits you with his weapon directly, it's going to cause a lot of damage. It might knock you off your horse. And then if he does a follow-up attack when you're knocked off, it will kill you in one hit. So he has that AoE. He kind of charges up before the AoE. And then he has one more attack that I want to show you. So yeah, watch out for those overheads. He might chain the overhead with a couple other attacks. So it really is just a matter of running around and getting your licks in while you can, and then keeping your distance for the next attack. So yes, this is what I wanted to show you. When he does this, he puts his weapon into the ground. These projectiles are going to come out, and you basically just want to run to the side, and you'll dodge all of them every time. And it's the same thing for when you're on foot. Run to the side. He's going to do an overhead slam here, and I'm going to run in and take a hit or two. You can also do a heavy attack. So he's doing his projectile again. Just run to the side. You'll dodge all the projectiles. Do a heavy. So you kind of drag your sword on the ground and do a heavy, and then you can hit him twice with the heavy attack. I'm going to do the rest of the fight on foot. His attacks are really easy to dodge through because they're highly telegraphed. And then, oops, I meant to do a special there, but then I had my shield on. I'm going to wait for his next kind of... Oh, there's his AoE slam. So just dodge through. I'm going to do a Bloodhound's finesse. And I was too close for the AoE. And he's shooting the projectiles at me. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. That was almost bad. All right. Oh, I got the wrong flask equipped. Ha! I got away with some stuff there that should have led to my untimely demise. But live to see another day. Yeah, make sure you got the right flask equipped. Usually a good idea. So we get the Opal Team Bubble tier and the Crimson Burst Crystal tier. So at these bosses at the minor Erdtrees here, oftentimes it's going to be one of those Erdtree avatars. When you kill them, you get extra physic items that will allow you to use different concoctions in your potion. So we got the Crimson Burst Crystal tier, which steadily restores HP for a period of time. We also got the Bubble tier, which what this does is it basically negates one hit. When you use it, you'll have a bubble around you, and that bubble will last for however long it takes for you to get hit. And then once you do get hit, that bubble protects you from the vast majority of the damage from that hit. So it's basically like a free hit. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop on down here. Then there's another spot. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. You saw that item down there. So this item, we're just going to drop down from here. And this is the Eclipse Crest Eater shield. So very similar to the shield we have now, negates 100% physical damage. Let's check it out though. So this has the parry skill, and this has no skill. So what this will do is, since it has no skill, is it will allow us to use Bloodhound's finesse even when we have our shield out, instead of parrying, which will happen when we have this shield out. So I'm going to equip this. I mean, stat-wise, you can see it's less on magic, but actually higher for fire, lightning, and holy. So pretty comparable, same guard boost, everything else with this shield. So I'm going to have this equipped just because of the no skill. In Dark Souls, I parry a lot more than I do in this game, because this game allows you to do guard breaks without parrying. So like jumping heavy attacks and things like that will allow you to break enemies' guards. So I don't parry nearly as much in this game as I do in Dark Souls. So having that no skill is actually going to be a little bit helpful. So there's some extra stuff up here that we're going to go down and grab. So that's why I warp back up to the Catacombs. But more often than not, I two-hand my weapon in this game. But sometimes I forget to two-hand, and then I go to do my special, and then I end up trying to parry instead. So this will help kind of prevent that from happening. So where we're going is there's some items back here, kind of in this vicinity. The main thing I'm after is there's this bat that's like singing a song, and whenever you see one of those and kill them, you get a rune, a golden rune tier 6. Definitely worth it. There's a bunch of smoldering butterflies in this kind of fiery area. And of course some ruin fragments. Pretty much anytime you see these ruins, there's going to be a ruin fragment around. Or in this case, sanctuary stones, but there was a ruin fragment at the bottom. Okay. So you kind of take this path downwards. And there are a bunch of bats. But down here we have this one that's singing a song. Let me make sure this one behind me did spawn. Okay. Or did aggro towards me. I'm going to use arrows for these other smaller ones. Get them out of the way. Oh, come on. There we go. And now that there's just one left. This is the singing one, who also has additional moves. More HP and more deadly than the other counterparts, than her friends. So we got a golden rune tier 6 for killing her. Definitely worth it. And of course, she can poison you, the singing ones. What we're going to do now is, remember, we marked this area on the map over before by this tunnel here. Now that we're up on this plateau by the minor urgery, we can drop down to get those things that we couldn't get before that were slightly out of reach for us. Should be a spot to drop down over here. There's our scarab. Let me see if I can drop attack him, or jump attack him. Nope, missed. So for killing him, we get the lightning strike, Ash of War. And there's a bunch of these blooms down here. And a bunch of bats, of course. Pick some of these up. Get out of here so I can warp back. I don't want to kill all the bats. Too annoying. I don't know if I can drop down from here, actually. And I've got too many runes at risk to try. Alright, so looks like we're killing some bats. Oh, I just got grabbed. As I said, whenever you get grabbed, mash all the buttons, and the grab attack will last for a shorter duration. You'll take less damage. Oh my goodness gracious. This is... Yeah, fighting aerial enemies in this game is a little bit awkward. All right. That's all of them, right? Okay. We're going to warp back here. And the next spot we're going to hit up these ruins. It's Everjail. Kind of make a loop around this way. I don't think I quite have enough to level up. But, let's see here. Yeah, here we are. Okay, cool. So this is going to be kind of our last sweep of the western edge of the peninsula. And then in the next episode, we're going to hit up Castle Morn, which is in the south side of the peninsula. So first thing we're going to do is climb these ruins right here. There is a scarab at the top. Oh, he fell down. Oh, there we go. The damage killed him. So we get Divine Fortification. It's a incantation. We too took some fall damage, but didn't kill us. Okay. So now have these ruins. There is an underground portion of the ruins. Get this item first. East Sliver. And here there's a couple enemies that are relatively powerful because they have these exploding crossbow rounds that they fire at you. There's two of them in here. You can just kind of, if you run around, they're not going to hit you with it generally. They do have melee weapons as well, but they're not too bad. And here we get the winged scythe. Not too shabby. So that's pretty much it for in here. So next we're going to go to the Everjail. That's pretty much next door. And we're going to need another stone sword key to actually unlock this Everjail. Some of them do require stone sword keys. Most of them don't, but this particular one does. And there's going to be a boss that we fight in here. So use our key. Okay, so before we trigger the boss, I'm going to use my flask. You cannot summon for this fight. These guys can be a bit tricky. He's going to have a second phase where he puts frost on his weapon. And the frost is quite powerful. If it triggers, it's going to do a bit of HP damage, kind of like bleed does, but then it's also going to slow your stamina recovery. If the status effect actually takes hold. All right, so I'm not going to charge in. Oh, he was just enchanting his weapon, I think. But he's got some nasty attacks now. And some pretty nasty combos, too. Just keep your distance. Attack when you get a chance. This might come down to the wire, guys. Ah, he dodged me. Oh, geez. Yeah, this could Could go poorly. We'll see. Oh, that AoE, man. I was going for the kill there, and then he hit me with the AoE. All right, it's sudden death. Sudden death. Oh, that came close. I don't remember that fight being so challenging, but that came down to the wire. So we get the Radagon Scar Seal for that. That's actually a really, really good talisman. Especially for this point in the game. I am in bad shape, though. Fortunately, the next spot we're going has a Site of Grace. Yeah, he is quite aggressive, but it's worth fighting him at this point. If you can win. Because I will show you. There's another Sacred Tier. So now we're going to get it up to +4, which is insane because beginning of this episode, I think we were at +1. So we are going to rest and level up. And increase our flask. So let me show you this talisman we just got. So we got the Radagon Scar Seal. It gives you 3 additional levels. 2, Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity. 3 additional levels to each of those stats. So you think about it, 3 levels to 4 stats. I mean, you're basically getting 12 free levels. And that's pretty insane. The downside is that it does increase the damage taken, but I would say the enhanced vigor that you get from doing this. So look at this. We have 661 from having this Crimson Amber medallion equipped. So this brings us from 661 to 709, and it enhances other stats. In general, the enhanced stats will outweigh the increased damage you're going to take. So I would recommend equipping it if you have it. So I'm going to put this on, and it is quite nice. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're headed south to the swampy area. If you are... Well, actually, what we're going to do now is there's a cave down here. We're going to do the cave first. So yes, especially at this point in the game, that talisman is extremely, extremely useful. Let's see. The cave is... There it is. See that glowing light? That's the entrance to the cave. And this cave is a little bit annoying because it's basically a poison swamp area. So anywhere you walk in there, it's gonna build up your poison. Fortunately, though, the layout is relatively straightforward. Just gonna rest on up. Need to have my torch out. And these guys, you know, they're in the poison, but then they also fire poisonous projectiles. So my word of advice is do not roll in the poison, because if you roll in the poison swamp area, what'll happen is you'll get the poison, you'll get the swampy water all over your body, and it'll cause the poison to build up even when you're outside of the poison. So don't roll. General rule, if you're in a poison swamp, don't roll. And the poison is eventually going to trigger. You can avoid it for a period of time, but eventually you're going to run out of luck and it's going to build up. I typically don't... What I do, especially at this point in the game, is I typically just let the poison run its course. It's going to slowly drain your HP. But what I do is I typically just heal through it. And then when we get to the end of the tunnel is when I'll heal it if I have the ability to heal it. So there's 2 spots you can go. You can go this way or this way. So this tunnel here is like when you walk into this room, it's to your right. This is the way that I'm going to go. And this is pretty much all poisonous. We're going to go straight first. Just keep an eye on your health, because your health is draining if you're poisoned right now. And I just rolled, but I'm already poisoned, so it doesn't matter as much when you're already poisoned. Big mama rat. So we get the immunizing white cured meat and the nomadic warrior cookbook 8. Where are my cookbooks? Key items, right? Yeah. So this allows us to craft poison grease, which will, if you craft it, it will, and you use it, it will put poison on your weapon. So basically everything you hit will get poison build up. So pretty nifty. And this takes us all the way around. To this. An Arteria leaf. You can drop down. There's more of these poisonous flowers on the ground. So if you go back up here, remember what I told you, the path split? This takes us back to the main room. That path took us all the way around. We got those items, we got the cookbook, etc. This path just takes you straight to where we dropped down from. That's the ledge we dropped down from when we got the Arteria leaf. So this down here is the boss. But we're going to explore first. The poison bone darts. Those enemies, you can wake them up if you want, but I don't really see the need to at this point. Fortunately, the boss is not too difficult. It's basically a giant. I call him Ochu. And a couple of special attacks. Now, when he does this, you want to make sure you're rolling, because he'll summon like those beams from the sky. Just make sure you don't get hit by those. That's really his most lethal attack. Other than that, it's just Bloodhound's finesse until it's dead. There we go. That was it, guys. Not too tough. For our trouble, we get the Viridian Amber Medallion. This medallion, like the Crimson version, increased our HP. The Meridian, or whichever one we just got, whatever it's called, increases your stamina. Okay, so now we are back outside. I'm going to rest up, get my healing back, etc. So we're headed next, right here. Kind of a swampy, another swampy area. Now, the thing about poison swamps in this game is if you are on horseback, the poison buildup does not occur. You only take the poison buildup if you are walking on foot. So there's the giant mausoleum. We're going to be getting to that in just a bit. Not as intimidating as you would think. But yeah, here there's a bunch of marionette soldiers. Now these things, I think this is our first encounter with them. This giant ball is going to summon magic from the sky, so take him out as soon as you can. Oh, we're too slow. Okay, there we go. Took it out. Now these marionette soldiers, oh my, see those combos? They are not to be underestimated. They are ridiculous. Some of them have crossbows and they'll shoot like, or some of them have bows and arrows and they'll shoot like 20 arrows at you in like 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. And then some of them have this the swords and they do ridiculous attacks. I mean, their combos are just insane. So in large numbers especially, very deadly. Down here in the basement, get the ambush shard spell, and then we have an NPC. I'm not going to go into detail right now so as to not spoil anything.
It will do no good, I swear it. And yet you persist. You frothing degenerates.
Okay. So I'll let you, for the time being, see if you can put the pieces of some of the puzzle together. But that's something that we're going to be addressing a bit later. Let's see. We'll address the Mausoleum now. So these things are a bit different than you might think. They're not a boss. In fact, they're not that aggressive. I'm just going to unlock the Site of Grace on the other side of here while I'm talking about them. What you do is there are like little white clumps of something on their feet, and when you clear enough of them up, they'll bend over and you can go inside. What they do is you can use them to duplicate boss remembrances, and we don't have any of those yet. You don't get your first one until after you get through Stormville Castle. But boss remembrances, much like boss souls and Dark Souls, for those of you who are familiar with Dark Souls, boss souls and Dark Souls you can use to craft, powerful weapons or spells or things like that. Boss remembrances in this game are used for exactly the same thing. But the thing is most boss remembrances, you can craft either a weapon or a spell. Well, once you do that, once you craft the weapon or the spell, then that remembrance is gone and you can't use it again. Well, what these Mausoleums do is when you go inside them, it lets you duplicate your remembrances. So say you want the weapon and the spell. Well, you can take that remembrance to a Mausoleum and duplicate it, and you can get both. I think there are 7 of these in this game, so you can duplicate up to 7 remembrances. And so this game allows you, in that regard, to kind of have your cake and eat it too. In previous games, you had to choose which one do you want, and then you sacrifice the other one for that playthrough. This one allows you to duplicate them and get them both if you want. But to do it, you have to unlock this Mausoleum. And you can only use each Mausoleum once. Once you've used it, it can no longer be used for duplication. I want to say we should be getting close to having enough. So he's bending over now. They don't have to get all of them to get him to come down to the ground. But you do have to get many of them. So once he's down, at some point, you'll find the stairway to get up. There we go. Open up these doors. And if we had a boss remembrance, which we do not yet, once you go through here, you can use this little altar to duplicate it. And this gives you the tutorials for the remembrance duplication. It can only be duplicated once per Mausoleum. So we're headed next. We're going to go out here to the beach. There are a couple of runes out here, which is why we came out here. This one is a 5. There's also a 1. It's hard to see with the light kind of glaring off the water. But since it's just a 1, there it is. I was going to say I would be content with leaving it, but The main thing we came after was the 5. Okay, let's see. Wish I could pull up my map right now. I can't because I've got the encounter music. There we go. That's what I'm looking for, is that shack over there. And I'll pull up my map just to show you the location once we get there. Probably have to unlock the Site of Grace to get the encounter taken away so I can actually, you know, look at my map. Okay. So we're at the Isolated Merchant Shack. This is the location on the map for that. He's got some goodies for sale.
Well, it's been an 8. How can I?
Let's see. I am going to purchase the lantern. The lantern is amazing, and I'm going to show you why. He's also got some Arteria leaves for sale. 2 stone sword keys. Going to pick them both up. He also has Lost Ashes of War. You can buy that. That's what allows you to duplicate your Ashes of War at the smith inside of Round Table Hold. And now we have the Walking Mausoleum note, which I just explained all that to you. But as I said, as I've done with all the other ones, I'm going to purchase the note and let you read it so you don't have to buy it. It's Walking Mausoleum. To stop the Mausoleum stride, you need to clean up around its feet first. So that's your hint. We just did that. I just showed you how to do it. So you should know by now. So where we're headed next is we're going to go up here. Well, first there's the Rune graveyard right here. And then we're going to head up here. And then lastly, go right here. Covering quite a bit of ground here, but as I said, in this episode, pretty much the entire western part of the Weeping Peninsula. So next episode, we're going to be ready to dive into Castle Morn and knock that out, and then that'll be it for the entire peninsula. All right, so get ourselves some runes here. These are mostly lower level, but that's okay. Runes are good. Okay, so now we want to go... I got all of them. I think I did. Up here. And there's golden fireflies, crafting material in this pond you can pick up. By no means required. And in there, you have to do like a heavy attack on the ground, but this will cause a blue teardrop scarab to pop up. Not super duper important, and I don't need it right now, so I'm not going to do it. But it's there in case you would like to do it. Here we got some enemies, and they're firing at us from the top of the tower with one of those giant crossbows. These guys at our level aren't all that imposing. What? I just got hit by like a direct shot from the top of the tower there. We don't need to kill these guys, but... Dude's working on his guard counters. I can respect that. Alright, enough of you. Totally unnecessary encounter, but... I'm not going to worry about these guys. I'm just going to go straight up the tower. Climb up to the very, very top. Take care of the guy manning this thing. And this is going to be a trap chest that takes us elsewhere. Oh, jeez. He wasn't dead yet. that was funny. Okay, so this transports us to Leyendell. So look at that. Look at how close we are to the Erd Tree. That is pretty sweet. I mean, we're like right underneath its branches. Like, that's pretty breathtaking, at least in my opinion. Pretty cool. So this is a completely separate section of the map. So I told you this map is huge. I mean, everything that's taken us to do to get through here, it's been a while, but we've only seen a sliver of what this game has to offer. So, so this transported us way up north, but there is something that we can get that may be useful, and I wanted to show you guys this little secret here. So this is a giant golem, much harder than the ones that we fought before. He has much more HP. Much like the other ones, though, we can do charged heavies on the ankles, and if you do this right, you can basically stun lock him, and I already messed it up. But look at how hard he hits. This is by no means a required encounter. You can just... What we're here for is that treasure chest over yonder. You can get the treasure chest without fighting this dude. But if you do it right, you can stun lock him before he even gets up. But now that we've knocked him down, do your critical, and then just go do your charged heavies on his ankles right away, and then you can keep him from getting back up. So do a double charged heavy. And I missed, dang it, the second hit missed again, but we knocked him over again. I'm doing a very poor job of demonstrating the stun lock. And, I can't access his critical spot. Can I? Okay, sweet. Whew, that was close. So hit him, do a critical, go right back to his ankles. That time, all the hits connected. Got him down and have to wait to see. This is a very awkward spot to try to get the critical hits. This is probably the worst this has gone for me in a good while. But, unfortunately, was not able to land those critical hits. But as you can see, as long as you just stick to his ankles and keep the pressure on, yeah, it's not letting me get... The way that he's falling over, it's not letting me get the critical hits. All right, one more hit. It's going to get him anyway. But if you want the challenge, kind of a skill check, you can try taking that guy on. As you saw, he was way more difficult than the other ones we fought to this point in the game. But anyway, our reward is the Blessed Dew Talisman. And as I said, you can run through, get this chest, and leave right away. You don't need to fight him to get it. But the Blessed Dew Talisman will gradually restore your HP while I have it equipped. So quite nice. Figure some of you might like that. We're going to get here later on in the game anyway, but you can kind of get early access by taking that trap chest. So if we rest at this side of Grace, it's going to let us warp out. Okay. So we're going to warp all the way back down here to the Nomadic Merchant. And in the next episode, as I said, we're going to take on Castle Morn. But this is going to do it for right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys found this useful. Hope you're really enjoying your own playthrough. I'm going to advance the time of day right now until morning. And we will pick things right on back up at this spot. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time.